Hello and welcome back to one of our mini training sessions on Workbooks CRM aimed at existing Workbooks users or indeed anyone seriously looking at Workbooks as a new CRM system. And in this one, we're going to cover WESS, a follow-on really from our last session where we compared email Dropbox in Workbooks with WESS. WESS, WESS, stands for Workbooks Exchange Synchronization Server. Now, that might sound like a bit of a mouthful, bit technical, but the concept is actually very straightforward. WESS is all about making your life easier by keeping your Workbooks CRM and Microsoft 365 or Outlook perfectly in sync. So with WESS, you don't need to worry about whether your emails, calendar appointments, or contacts are up to date in both systems. They just are. The beauty about WESS is also that it works quietly in the background. All right. So connecting Workbooks directly with your Exchange server in the background there, it means that any changes you make to your emails, meetings, contacts in Outlook, they're automatically reflected in Workbooks CRM or vice versa. So there's no need for any individual plugins or manual copying and pasting, whether you're working on Windows PC or a Mac or Outlook web access or even your mobile device. Everything's in sync because WESS just works perfectly at that server level in the background. During this session then, we're going to take a deeper dive into WESS very shortly, show you how it works in practice, what it means for your day-to-day use of Workbooks, and how it can help your organization get a lot more value out of Workbooks CRM with this popular extension. So it is an extension. It's not provided included in Workbooks, the standard subscription. It is an add-on extension that you apply for those that need it. So hello, my name is Tim Wilmot, and I'm joined by my colleague Stuart Lawrence and Hind. Our company, WESS Systems, are a leading independent CRM solutions provider of systems like Workbooks, and we help our organizations use simple and affordable solutions to help with their sales, marketing, and customer service. Now, those of you on here live, the audio part of this presentation is one way only, as you would have been told when you came in. If you've got any questions, please type those into the question box on your meeting control panel, and we'll do our best to answer those at the end. All right, let me just hand over to my colleague Stuart for the rest of the presentation.
As Tim mentioned, Outlook link designed to make Outlook feel as though it's part of the CRM rather than just a simple plugin that gets attached to Outlook. So let's take a look at what we can do. Now, I hope that we all know we can send emails from Workbooks. I just go to a record, I click the email option, and I can send an email. I can also go into the various areas of this record, whether it's a support case or a project or a quote, and I can select the email option from there, and Workbooks will send the email and link that email to the record and the matching item, again, be it a quote, a project, and so on. But what about doing all of this from within Outlook? So probably easier if I show you. So let me open a record here. So I have an email here that's coming from a customer. I'll make this nice and big so that we can see it. And the customer asking, how do I add values to a drop-down field? Okay, nice and easy one for me. The Outlook link is opened on the right-hand side, and I've got it to open every time. There's a little pin icon here. That means every time that I open Outlook, the Outlook link opens there straight away. If you've got a Windows machine, the pin sort of changes direction to show that it's been pinned. If you're running the Mac version of Outlook, the pin turns blue to show that it's been pinned. I've got Windows, so it's pointing down. So as mentioned, I received this email. So you'll notice there's a few things I can do straight away without having to go into the CRM that is behind me. The alcohol link has gone and found the record. It's this employer called Test Limited from a Mr. W.B. Stewart Hind. He's asking a question. And the first thing I can do without doing any other work is I can just link this email straight to the record in Gold One. There's a Workbooks. That's it. Done. Straight into the system. It's in the CRM. So what else can I do? How can I add values to a drop-down field? Now, I could reply to him. I will in a moment. But I think this needs to be a support case. And again, without going into the CRM, I can quickly check, create new fields. No, it's a slightly different issue here. So what I can do is I won't do it for this stage. I could go into here, select case, and without going into the CRM, I can create a new case and link this email to it. And that would attach this email not only to the record, it'll attach it to the case as well. And you can see I can add it to a sales opportunity, a sales lead, or even create a task based on this customer's email. Again, without being in the CRM. I'm going to leave it as just at this stage. Nice and simple. I'm just going to say now, I'm just going to link this to the email. But what I want to do is I want to reply to him. So I've linked the email. I click on reply. The system swaps it round. And now, again, straight away, I've got the option to send this email to this customer and link it to that person. Let me turn off this because there's too much showing. Just make it nice and clean and easy to see. It's already filled in the details for me. I can now fill in the email. I won't go into too much information on how he does it. But again, I click link. I send the email. That email has gone to the customer. And in the Outlook link and the WESS that Tim mentioned running in the background will look for that email. The sync will run the process and it will attach that email to that record for me. So the customer gets a copy of the email and Workbooks gets a copy of the email. So again, very, very easy. So that's just a standard email. But what about, I mentioned these linking it to another item within Workbooks. Well, same customer emailed support and asked about adding fields to a record. And we responded saying there isn't a limit. And he responded and said, that's great. You can close the case. We can see this one here. There it is, create new field. But again, really, really simple. All I have to do is click link item. What's happening now is the system is not only saving this email against the record, but because there is a matching value here in the subject line, the Outlook link has said, right, let's go and find this record. Is there a matching value in the subject line? Yes, there is, this 78423, and it will link it to that record. So someone can go and look at W.B. Stewart's record or look at that support case and see this email on it. And I'm fine with that one. I can just close that and send it on its way. So that's sort of fairly easy. That's linking an incoming email, that's linking an outgoing email, that's linking an email to other items within the CRM. But we've got this Outlook link open. So what else can we do? So let's say that this email has come from someone who isn't in my CRM. What can we do? Now, the first thing that would happen is you wouldn't see this box on screen, but it would show you the email that has come in, the email address that's come in. And it would have grabbed the employer name if it can find it in the system, if you can find it in the email, sorry, and it will show you that on screen. What you can do from here is you can say, right, this is a new record, and click new person. And straight away, it's gone into the system and said, right, what's this person's name? What's their employer? And the basic fields to create that person. But you'll notice we're not in the CRM. We're still in Outlook, filling in these details for the record. We could do the same with the organization. So the organization for this person doesn't exist. Same fields. And again, we can fill this information in, all done from the Outlook link. And that's just dealing with emails. So an email comes in, you deal with it within Outlook instead of having to jump backwards and forwards into the CRM as you're working. So that's just, as I said, that's just the email side of it. What else can it do? Now, it can also handle your calendar. There isn't much I can show here because it's all done through the back end rather than through the link itself. The link provides the synchronization that does it. All we need to do is go into, I'll use Workbooks because there's a bit more to show in Workbooks. I would create a meeting, just as I would normally do. And the reason I prefer to use Workbooks for this is I've got a few more fields that I can fill in for this. Obviously, I could have done it in Outlook, but if I fill this information in Workbooks and fill it all in and then save and close, again, by its very name, the Exchange Server Sync, the sync will look at this message, and the next time the sync polls round, it will put a copy of that into my Outlook for me. So not only is it in my Workbooks record so that other people can see it, it's in my Outlook calendar. So if I'm out and about and I open up my phone, it'll be there in my work calendar so that everybody can see it. That's really it. It is probably best to say it's almost possible to run your CRM, run Workbooks from inside Outlook. I can attach emails to records. I can send brand new emails and link them to the records. I can link emails to other records within the CRM, as I mentioned, cases, reports. And that's it. The idea of this is you don't have to keep switching between the two. And emails come in, jump into the CRM, jump back to your email client. I can do almost all of it from inside Outlook. That's it, Tim. I'll pass things back to you.
Thanks very much. So, as Stuart was saying, an enhanced email integration with Outlook, far more than email Dropbox, and also the additional background, the features of synchronizing your calendar, your tasks, and your contacts. And as Stuart demonstrated, good practice in your workflow, good practice to schedule the activities from CRM. That way they're linked straight away. And you've got a little bit more information that you may want to track about that interaction, that task, that meeting, that phone call, and so on. Right, so we'll dive into any questions that you've got specifically about WESS or Outlook integration in general. Just while you're thinking of any questions, just a reminder of Wizard Systems, Workbooks CRM Specialist. All we do is CRM, and we're a one-stop shop for Workbooks. We can provide the product, set it up for you, all the implementation, training at your place, our place, or online, and the ongoing help desk support as well. Right, question from Zoe. Can WESS prevent duplicate contacts or calendar entries when syncing between CRM and Outlook? And how easy is it to manage or resolve any conflicts that arise during synchronization?
Wow. Okay. Right. Start with the contacts. Now, one of the powers of Workbook is it does allow you to store someone's email address more than once. It's not considered a unique value. And the same with people. So when you do create that record that I had on the screen, if I was to create it again, but maybe it's linked to a different company, Workbooks will prompt me to say that there is a similar record or another record using these details. What do you want to do? Do you want to merge that record, or do you want to keep them separate? So it will ask you when it comes down to people. As to calendar, the beauty of the sync is that if you're making an appointment and you go to synchronize them, not only will Workbooks tell you, Outlook will tell you as well that you're trying to schedule an appointment for a time that already exists. So you do get told that again, there's something already taking place at this time. And as to running into any issues, if you were to have an issue, the Outlook link itself has its own help file and a log. And what would normally happen is that support would ask you for a copy of that log so that we can look at any synchronization issues or any other problems that there may be with the link. There aren't many, but if there are, they would be in this log file that we can access.
Okay, Carl is asking how customizable is the sync process? Can we control which emails, contacts, or calendar events are synchronized? Are there any filter settings to limit what goes over?
I probably should have mentioned that right at the start. When you, well, I mentioned that email that came in from a contact that wasn't in the system. That would go in as a record assigned to me, and so would be included in any future sync if you've turned on the option to synchronize contacts. And by default, the WESS, the Outlook link, is only told to synchronize contacts that are assigned to you. So in other words, viewable on the person's landing page when you click on My People. So those are the records that will be synced by default. If you wanted to filter things like appointments, you only want a particular type of appointment to be put into the system, it is possible to use category. So you could create a category and call that Workbooks. And then when it comes to a sync, the sync could be told only synchronize appointments that are in the Workbooks category. So you're not getting absolutely everything, your holidays, your birthdays, football matches, they're not all jumping from your Outlook calendar into Workbooks and so clogging it. So yeah, you can use categories.
Yeah, I guess it's a common question we're asked about private things in Outlook. You don't want them in your company CRM system, quite naturally. So, and also with emails, you maybe it's a good idea to discuss amongst the team what emails should be in CRM and emails that aren't relevant to customers, prospects, sales. They stay where they are. So you've got that choice there as well. Jocelyn is asking, is it possible to create or update Workbooks records directly from Outlook using the WESS add-in? And how does this impact the day-to-day workflow for users who spend most of their time in Outlook, which of course many people would do, I suppose? Yeah, good question from Jocelyn.
Right. Again,
we sort of covered already, haven't we?
I sort of alluded to it with the when a new record came in, you saw all those blank screens, blank fields, and you can put in the company name and the first name. Well, the same thing happens with an existing record. If I'd have gone into the organization field, all the fields from that organization would have appeared. And if there was a spelling mistake or something different, you can click on the little pencil icon and it switches into edit mode. I can then make any changes and then save those changes. And again, within seconds, those changes are reflected back inside the CRM. So you don't have to suddenly spot that there's an issue, go into the CRM, make the changes. You can make the changes and update the record from the Outlook link.
Okay, let me just check the questions section. I don't think there's any more. Okay, thanks to the three of you for those. Right, well, in wrapping things up then for this session on WESS, we're currently on release 7.4 of Workbooks as of, well, mid-May 2025. And if you're a Workbooks CRM user, do you have any topics that you'd like us to cover in future sessions that you think would be of interest to other Workbooks users? We'd love to hear from you. Please contact Stuart or myself with your suggestions. So thanks very much, those of you on here live, and we'll catch up with you on the next session real soon. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye.